Hello guys, today we'll be making the first prediction for NVIDIA for the month of August. As promised, you guys know that we done a prediction for NVIDIA for the last month, which is July. It was a 90% accurate prediction. Only one or 2 days we got wrong and were not really behaving as we were expecting. But that's also because we saw that there was a lot of volatility in these days, in these past weeks, and especially in the final days of the month. We saw how, stocks just dump all the way down, major crashes everywhere, stocks everywhere, global. There was a talk of a global recession coming, but I told you guys that that was not really the case, that we indeed suffer a big, massive hit, but that's not the end of the world. It's nothing really to be worried about because there's a lot of trash influencers and grifters out there that they're telling you that it's basically the end of the world, right? So don't listen to those freaks. Only listen to your heart. So let's begin, and as I promised, you guys know that I let you guys have some time to choose the next stocks that you want me to cover for this month. I have chosen NVIDIA again because NVIDIA is one of the best, if not the best, indicators to follow up the rest of the economy, especially on technology. We also did a SP500 prediction that was also 100% correct, but that's in the past months. So we're going to be doing NVIDIA again because this is my favorite stock to analyze. And we also have a surprise, a very big and kind of very surprise because I had a client that asked me to do a prediction for Etsy. And I will be detailing what Etsy really is for those that you don't know. But let's begin with this prediction with NVIDIA, right? So the day of the recording of this video is the 7th of August. We'll be having the next days, consecutive days for a yellow circle. We have 8 or 9 of August. These days are going to be yellow. Means that there's lots of volatility, lots of range. It will be hard to decide. I believe this trend is going to continue. It might get better by the time we reach August 13 or 14. These days are also yellow, but notice that the next day is a green circle, 15 or 16 of July, so that's an uptrend right here. So we could expect that in these days, especially on the 14th of July, we could see some trend develop that gives way to this impulse that I am expecting to happen on these days, either one of these 2 days, either 15 or 16 of July. Now I also notice that you need to see that 16th of July is a day shared also by this red circle, so that day could be very volatile, very extremely volatile, or very rangish, meaning that it's a nothing burger. The price just does nothing. Could happen. We'll see what circle ends up engulfing the other for that specific day, but that's what I got. And the next circle is July 17. Now, July 17 is not a market day, but that could add a lot more volatility to the previous day, to the preceding day, which is August 16. I keep saying July, I don't know why, but it's August. All of this is for the month of August. Now, the next week entering, we have Monday, a green circle. Also alternative days, we have 19 or 20 of August. That's an impulse right there, followed by another impulse in 21 of August. But also share a day shared by this red circle, which has alternative days, 21 or 22 of August. So the best case scenario right here is that we get, for example, consecutive days, meaning that on August 20 and 21 we get both days on the green. We could also see that 19 of August could be a green day, followed by some stabilization on the 20 and another uptrend by August 21. That will be the best case scenario. That can only happen if the red circle right here does not engulf the day for 21 of August. In this case, we will be expecting the downtrend by August 22. But if it ends up engulfing the green circle on the 21, then we can see that the downtrend will begin on the 21 of August, followed by a slightly red day on that day on the 22. Now the next circle we have 23 or 24 of August, an impulse, possibly a correction, an impulse erasing the losses, any kind of losses that we could have on this correction that I have marked here with this red circle right here. So that's what we have for this week, and the next week is going to be we don't have a circle for that day, which is Monday 26th of August, but given that I have a preceding circle, a red circle on the 25th, maybe, possibly, that day could be slightly reddish in that sense, slightly on the downtrend. We could see some movements like there, or maybe more like a lazy day. We'll have to see what happens on the 26th of August. But the next circle I do have marked, and it is a green circle on the 27th or 28th of August, another impulse, and a yellow circle for the 28th of August. So again, this circle, this day, 28th of August, is going to be critical, but because this day is shared by 3 circles actually. We have a yellow one and 2 green circles sharing that single day. Now the best case scenario again will be a non-stop uptrend starting from possibly 27 or 28th of August and ending on the 29th of August. That will be the best case scenario. Almost 3 consecutive days. That will be extremely good. The second better scenario, something like that, could be 2 consecutive days, and anything can happen in this yellow circle. Anything can happen. Lots of volatility, lots of range. We'll have to see what happens, because that's exactly what a yellow circle is supposed to represent. And finally, the last day of the month is going to be August 30. Now that's a red circle right there, obvious, very clear. What else can I say, guys? We'll have a red end for the month. I hope that it's not really as dramatic as the one we saw in the previous month. You guys know that in my previous prediction I told you that the final days of the month were going to be completely red, and that's exactly what we got. Lots of volatility on the downtrend, and after these days basically the stock market collapsed. So I hope that we don't have a repeat in this next month of August, but there's also that signal, that very clear, ominous signal for a red day on the final day of the month. Now let's check the prediction that I made for Etsy again. I was telling you guys in the beginning that Etsy is a prediction that was a client requested me this prediction because he's very into this kind of business. So for those who don't know, Etsy is a company that is like the king of all print-of-demand companies. So print-of-demand is a business practice which you can print T-shirts, products of any kind, clothing, any kind of product that you can actually sell. And Etsy is way more than that. It's basically like a marketplace for indie kind of products, so very vintage kind of style. People like some people like that kind of stuff. So Etsy is the king of that kind of marketing products. So Etsy is actually very advertised on YouTube by many people. I don't know if they are grifters or not, but many people usually advertise Etsy because. So I have a funny anecdote with Etsy, but I don't think it's the time to share it. But Etsy, so far, that I can see, it's basically consistently on a downtrend. Etsy is, even though they have some green months, like for example July was a green month for Etsy, it's consistently on the downtrend from the historical all-time high. I mean, you can see that right here. I'm scrolling through the past, and you can see that the price just keeps dumping and dumping and dumping compared to the previous height. So that's because Etsy is having a lot of more competition, and because many of the business models, many of the business practices on Etsy, like, I don't know, like drop shipping, all of that kind of stuff, print on demand, like I was just saying, that's kind of on the that's not really that popular anymore. The costs are increasing. There's a lot of more alternatives. Many people are actually doing their own business outside of Etsy. They have their own platforms. So all of that kind of stuff is really impacting Etsy's price. But let's see what we have for Etsy. So according to this prediction, we'll have, again, very similar to the last one for NVIDIA. The 8th or 9th of July are going to be yellow days. That means the price is going to do basically nothing or very volatile. We will see what happens. I'm leaning towards more like a range, because that's exactly what we're seeing in most cases in the previous months and the previous weeks. Also, another red yellow circle for the 10 or 11 of July, of August, I mean. Now again, these days are not market days, so we'll have to see that energy translates to the preceding day, which is Friday. Now we'll have to, we begin the next week with a clear impulse on the 12th of August. That's going to be a green day, followed by corrections, very hard corrections, actually. We have the next circle is a red circle, which has 15 or 16 of August. That's basically the end of the week right here. It could be a very bad end of the week in this case for Etsy. And now the next week is also could be pretty bad, because we have that we begin that week on the 19th of August, Monday. So the next circle right here is a red circle also. We have on the 20 or 21 of August a red, very clear red energy. Also notice that the previous circle, which also does not coincide with market days, but that's a red energy. So a red energy on non-market days, impacting both preceding and succeeding red energies on market days. Well, that's a very bad combination, I might say. So the next circle, we have a green circle, probably some stabilization from these losses that we could be potentially seeing on these days. Green circle on the 21 or 22 of August. We'll have to see what happens on these days. 21 is shared by this red circle, so that day could be very volatile or very rangish. We'll have to see what happens on that day. Now the next circle corresponds to another red circle, which is 23 or 24. Again, 24 of August is not a market day, but I mean, it's going to be a very red end of that week, especially on the 23 of August, which is Friday. And the next week we open on a it's going to be a better kind of day. We have a green circle, which has 25 or 26 of August. On these days, we could see a very big impulse, especially on the 26th, because the energy of the non-market day preceding it could actually help doing an even bigger boost. And given it's a long day with a long green circle, it's basically guaranteed that we'll be seeing a very green day on that day, 26th of August, followed by another correction on the 27th or 28th of August. And finally, we'll be ending the month on a very yellowish note. The price kind of either stabilizes or continues going on the kind of volatile trend that it's having in these past days, possibly on the downtrend, because like I say, Etsy, it's basically on the downtrend since a very long time ago. And that business model is not really that profitable anymore, at least not like it used to be, right? So we'll have to watch out for that. But yeah, the end of the month is going to be yellow, 29 or 30 of August, yellow circle right here. So that's it, guys. It's been a a very clear and consistent video, I think. Anyone can really understand what I'm talking about and read the charts. It will be updating these charts in the next couple of months. The next couple of weeks until the end of the month, as always. So let's see what happens with this. I'm very interested on what happens with Etsy, because this is my first prediction of a non-tech stock and a non-forex pair. So we'll have to see what Etsy brings. As always, it will be extremely accurate because none of my predictions fail. So we'll have to see what Etsy brings to the table right here. Anyways, guys, that's all of it. I invite you all to subscribe, share, like, comment, all of that stuff, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Take care.